News here out of Orange County. There has been another mass shooting. Sadly, 4 people are dead, including the gunman. We are following the latest developments.
And former President Trump is getting ready to turn himself in today. How he's responding to the latest charges against him. Plus, 8 candidates spar over the future of the GOP. We have all the highlights of the first presidential primary debate and how former President Donald Trump played a role without even being there. CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts right now.
We begin with that breaking news. Everyone, glad you're with us. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Carrie Lane filling in for Netta Iranpour. We want to begin with the breaking news from overnight. There's been another mass shooting in America, this time in Orange County, California.
So this happened in Trabuco Canyon, which is just north of the town of Rancho Santa Margarita. At least 4 people are dead, including the gunman. At least 6 others are hurt here. The shooting happened in a historic bar that's popular with bikers. CBS's Danya Backus has the latest now from the scene.
Police in Orange County say the shooting happened around 7 p.m. inside Cook's Corner Bar and Restaurant in Trabuco Canyon during spaghetti night. Officials say the incident may have stemmed from a domestic dispute and say the suspect, a retired law enforcement officer, shot and killed his wife.
Deputies then confronted a male subject that was armed with a gun. At that point, a deputy involved shooting occurred, and that involved multiple deputies. The man believed to be involved in the shooting is deceased at the scene.
Authorities aren't saying if the gunman was killed by law enforcement or took his own life. Victims were found inside and outside of the bar. It's unclear where the shooting started.
Our firefighter paramedics assessed multiple patients, ultimately transporting 6 patients to a local trauma center, some of whom did suffer gunshot wounds.
This man was on his way to meet friends who were inside the bar when the shots rang out.
Yeah, they're safe. They're upset, of course. I mean, when you got multiple shots being fired around you, they were right next to the shooter. He was an older man with a gray beard.
CBS Los Angeles reports the suspect is identified as a retired sergeant with the Ventura Police Department.
Cook's Corner, the location where this tragic incident occurred, is truly a beloved part of the Trabuco Canyon community.
Cook's Corner, an old-fashioned roadhouse, was built in 1884 and is popular with the motorcycle riding community. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Police did recover 1 gun at the scene. Governor Gavin Newsom's office says it is monitoring the shooting and coordinating with local officials as more details become available. Be sure to stay with CBS 8 for the latest developments on this mass shooting in our state. We're going to have the updates posted at CBS8.com. You can follow us on social media or download the CBS 8 app. We do have an update this morning on a man who fired hundreds of shots during an hours-long standoff in Pennsylvania. That man is now dead. Pittsburgh police say William Hardison was set to be evicted yesterday morning, but when officers arrived, he began firing. Investigators say he shot down 2 police drones. After hours of exchanging gunfire, police confirmed Hardison was dead. Police say one officer cut his head while diving to avoid the gunfire, but nobody else from the department was hurt.
Former President Donald Trump is expected to surrender to authorities in Georgia later today on charges related to alleged efforts to overturn the state's 2020 presidential election results.
And this morning, he is speaking out about the charges against him. CBS 8's Chris Groh live in studio now with more on how former president is reacting to all of this here. Chris?
Yeah, we did get quite a bit of time there with President Trump just last night, a 45-minute interview that he conducted with former Fox News personality Tucker Carlson. Now, a lot was said about the lead up to the 2024 election, but also a lot about the 2020 election. Take a listen.
I got indicted 4 times. All trivia, nonsense. They're saying you don't have any right to challenge it. If you challenge an election, we're going to indict you and put you in jail. So what?
Now, that interview, again, went on for 45 minutes. It aired on the app X, formerly known as Twitter. Trump is one of 19 defendants charged with attempting to overturn the 2020 election results there in the state of Georgia. Now, today, after Trump turns himself in for processing, we are expecting a mugshot similar to his former lawyer Sidney Powell and and current lawyer Rudy Giuliani, something we haven't seen in his other cases. Now, as you just saw, both Powell and Giuliani already amongst those that have already surrendered and were booked. But the former New York City mayor championed the RICO Act against organized crime during his time in New York and now finds himself facing similar charges. Meanwhile, in Milwaukee, the majority of the GOP field took to the debate stage. Here's what some had to say about the case.
The conduct is beneath the office of President of the United States.
It is wrong. We have to end the weaponization of justice in this country.
Now, there was a moment during the debate where they were asked, those candidates, if they would still support President Trump if he ended up being the party's nominee. And again, we saw all of those hands go up in the air. Now, after he's booked, Trump will be released on a $200,000 bond. Giuliani was already released on a $150,000 bond. The other defendants still outstanding have until Friday to turn themselves in. Eric and Carrie.
All right, Chris, thanks for that update. Later this morning, Kaiser Permanente healthcare workers could announce details of a possible strike authorization vote.
They say understaffing is a huge problem and it's causing patient care crisis. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol live in Kearney Mesa now to explain what these workers are demanding here. Dana Marie.
Carrie and Eric, a strike for the nation's largest employer could be looming. 85,000 healthcare workers here at Kaiser. They're sounding the alarm, saying that there is, like you said, a patient care crisis. Now, what's happening today at 11 a.m., there's a press conference where they're going to announce a date for an authorization vote for a strike. Healthcare workers, what they're saying is that this staffing concerns can lead to dangerously long wait times, mistaken diagnosis, and also neglect. They bring up concerns about also not being able to afford in areas like LA on the low wages they currently have. Now, a clinical laboratory assistant at a Kaiser Permanente in Colorado says it's heartbreaking to see our patients suffer from long wait times for the care they need, all because Kaiser won't put patients and worker safety first. Now, Kaiser did, of course, respond to all of this. Kaiser sent out a statement back in July saying, quote, "Our priority is to reach an agreement that ensures we can continue to provide market competition and pay an outstanding benefit." They note challenges including inflation and rising costs to deliver health care, increasing competition for non-traditional businesses, as well as labor shortages. Again, San Diego Kaiser Permanente healthcare workers, they're going to announce a date for a strike authorization vote. This not only affects them here in San Diego, but all over the country. That press conference we will be at, and of course bring you the latest on CBS8.com and later editions of our newscast. I'm Dana Marie McNichol coming to you live from Kearney Mesa.
Dana Marie, thank you. All right, here we are on a Thursday, getting a little closer to that weekend. It's going to be a pretty nice weekend. Things are warming up a bit, Carrie.
Yeah, warming up just enough for the weekend. Not too hot, not too cold. But as we get into next week, things are really going to ramp up. So enjoy the next 4 days while temperatures are more on the mild side. In fact, we are below the seasonal average as of right now. Today along the beaches, we're going to be in a mix of sun and clouds. We're going to be in the mid-70s. Inland Valley is going to top out in the upper 80s. The mountains 84 and the desert in the triple digits. That marine layer is being pretty stubborn, and it's going to continue through tomorrow. As we get into the weekend, it will become more shallow, and we will have lots of sunshine even along the beaches, I promise, definitely by Sunday. You can see the clouds right now still pretty stubborn this morning as they continue to move into the inland valleys. They will start to retreat, but I don't know that we're going to get full clearing along our beaches. This is Otay Mountain facing west, and you can see all the clouds sitting in the valley as we wake up to that beautiful sunrise this morning. It's going to take a little bit of time to clear. I would say 1-2-ish is when we'll see most of the clearing, and then those clouds are going to roll back in as we get into the evening hours. Current temperatures mostly in the mid-60s for most parts of the coast and inland valleys. Out in the mountains, we're in the upper 50s, and Borrego Springs right now at 78 degrees. So here are the clouds, and here's what they're going to do. You can see they're going to slowly start to move back as we get into lunchtime. This is around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but you can see we don't have full clearing along the beaches. Del Mar still looks to be socked in, downtown San Diego, even a little bit of Oceanside as well. So you may see periods of the sun coming out, but I don't think it's going to be out for a long period of time along our beaches. And then it slowly starts to roll back in. 9 o'clock, you can see here on the screen that moving all the way in, especially down south in the East County. We'll continue to monitor that for you. Like I said, as we get into Sunday, there will be plenty of sunshine for you. All right, let's take a look at traffic. For those of you getting ready to walk out that door and talk about the border wait times here, you can see San Ysidro Port of Entry is about 120-minute wait. Otay Mesa Port of Entry is a 75-minute wait, so definitely give yourself plenty of time this morning. Also, the fog may be impacting travel a little bit, just depending on where you are in the community. Eric?
All right, still ahead here, 8 Republican presidential candidates face off in their first debate. We'll have all the highlights for you. And the Writers Guild pushing back here this morning, where negotiations stand more than 100 days into the writers' strike.